In this short video, I'm going to teach you the best ways that I've learned to deal with incredibly negative people who always complain, always have a bad word to say, cynical opinion, the people that want to drain you and drag you down. If you don't know me already, I'm a social anxiety coach mainly, but I also help out people who've been exposed to toxic behavior and want to get better at dealing with difficult people. So, firstly, I'm going to help you understand where the negative behavior comes from. And then I'm going to teach you the best ways to handle it so that you remain in a good place. You don't come away feeling like a helpless victim in your interactions with these people. You don't come away feeling so drained, so exhausted, and just emotionally beaten up. So, the behavior, where does it come from? Imagine what it would take for you to become that negative, for you to genuinely be in a place where you're saying things like, man, life just sucks so much. I'm so tired. Things are rubbish. Why is everything so difficult? The journey took ages. My back's killing me. What would it take for you to be in that? For you to be behaving in this way? So it comes from a place of despair and hopelessness. Ultimately, that's where the negative behaviors from other people actually come from. And to be in that state where you're always complaining, it must be so frustrating and so exhausting. To actually be living in such a negative world as these negative complaining people actually are, it must be so goddamn tiring to be like, another day, the bus is late, I'm not going to get that raise I was hoping for. It must be so frustrating. So, one of the dominating emotions that negative people feel is frustration. But the actual state of mind that these people are in is hopelessness and despair. It's almost as if they're wearing a pair of lenses. These are mental lenses based on their beliefs. And what they see in their eyes, in their mind, they see despair and hopelessness and cynicism and negativity everywhere they look. They're not faking it. They genuinely see the world through these lenses, and they genuinely believe this is how life is. They're not aware that they're being disproportionately negative compared to reality. They're literally not aware of this. In their mind, they're behaving completely rationally, and they believe that they're seeing the world how it actually is. So, what do people need if they're in a state of despair and hopelessness? If someone's in that place, and welcome to the stream, by the way, and I'll just reiterate the last point so this makes sense. So, what does it take for someone to be super negative and complaining all the time? They have to be in a state of despair and hopelessness. What do you need if you're in this state? You need hope and you need encouragement. That's ultimately what you need if you was in this negative spiral. That's what you would need to get yourself into a more positive place. So just park that thought for a second. So you can see where this place is, and where this behavior comes from. How do you actually get better at dealing with it? So the best advice, which isn't always applicable, but the best advice is to spend significantly less time around negative people that are complaining, and get yourself around uplifting and supportive people that have your back. If you're living with negative people 24/7, say if it's a family member, you're going to feel so beaten up and drained, it's going to be hard to overcome it. So much easier to not be around these people. So this is the simplest and most effective solution. So for example, if it's close family members that you're struggling with, moving away from them and surrounding yourself with a good social circle of good people, the right communities, this will change your life. But sometimes, especially if it's a close family member, you still want to spend time with that person, even though you know that they're really negative and draining to be around. So what do you do when you're around them? And also this applies if it's a colleague at work or an associate. You have to go to work, you have to spend time with them. What do you do if they're directing that negativity towards you? For example, they're saying that they're really, really tired, they're in pain, they're struggling. Okay, so you know that this comes from a place of hopelessness and despair. So what I do is I coach that person. I position myself as a coach by offering them encouragement and hope, gentle encouragement and gentle hope. This means that I'm not being dragged down to their level. So they're in this state of despair and hopelessness. They've got their lenses on and they see the world in this way. What they're trying to do is force you to put on their lenses and see the world like they see it. But you don't need to do that. It's not helpful to them. It would just keep them stuck anyway. If you was to validate them for being in this negative state 24/7, it wouldn't help them out. So it's kind of to not put on their pair of glasses, to not see the world the way that they see it, to remain seeing it the way that you see it. So act from a place of love. And offer them encouragement and hope. So, for example, let's say that this negative person, let's say that they had a car journey and they said the car journey took absolutely ages. There was holdups. It was really, really tiring. I feel exhausted right now. Let's imagine that they say that. So what they need is encouragement and hope. So you might say that I understand that you're feeling frustrated right now. You have every right to feel that way. Life can be tough sometimes. There's journeys where They take a lot longer than you expect. But it's not like that all the time. A lot of the time, there's smooth journeys as well. So you're normalizing what they're saying. They're saying something that's extremely negative, and you're making it more normal. You're giving them a more balanced perspective. And verbally, they may disagree with you. They may not like it, but they're going to feel better as a result of you behaving in this way. And what you're doing. So there's two parts in our brain. This is very, very simplistic way of looking at it, but we have two different parts in our brain: an inner parent and inner child. Okay, so if somebody is in a really, really negative state, that's how they are, you want to talk to their inner child. The behavior itself comes from a place of despair and hopelessness. So you know that what their inner child wants right now, what they want emotionally, they want encouragement and they want hope. So just focus on giving love to their inner child. Ignore what they say. That's their inner parent talking. And just have this approach whenever someone's really, really negative. So if it's genuine, they're genuinely in that place, they're going to feel better for speaking to you. And because you're giving and you're not receiving from that person, you're not going to be taking on their negativity. You're not getting sucked into their drama. You're actually being kind and acting from a place of love. That's what you're doing. You're being strong around that person. And if the person was trying to manipulate you, if they were trying to gaslight you, control you, get a reaction from you, or something like this, they would learn that they can't get away with that with you, because whenever they're negative, you help out their inner child with that emotional deficit. So they have no control over you. Whenever they're being negative, you're actually watering them. They're like a seed, and you're watering that seed. You're saying, okay, this person's in this quite low level place. They're struggling in life, so I'm just going to sit down and water them, and then continue on with my life as normal. So this works really, really well for dealing with negative people. And whatever they say, you can always go down this path, and it's like they have a negative behavior, and you counter that with coaching them. So let's come up with some other examples of things that they might say. And I talk about this from personal experience with some negative family members. They may say that their back's in pain and it's never going to get better. They may say something like this. So again, what does that person need? They need hope and encouragement. So you might say that, I understand that you're going through a challenging time with your back right now. but it is possible that your back will get better. I'm sure there's other people out there who've had a bad back and they've recovered from this by doing the right things over time. And the great thing with this approach is automatically, so you're not taking on their negativity. You're actually stopping it dead in its tracks. If they're looking for a negative conversation, they're not going to get that from you because you're reflecting it straight back. They're saying that I'm in pain with my back, I'm struggling, and it's going to be like this forever. It's never going to get better. You're saying, okay, the person is in a place of utter despair and hopelessness. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them encouragement and hope as well. So, you reflect it back and say, I appreciate that you're going through a painful time right now, but it is possible that that will change in time. There's other people out there who've had a bad back and they've got over this. So it's possible that you will as well. Probably they'll respond a bit begrudgingly and be like, yeah, I guess. But they've run out of steam. The negativity has run out of steam, and then you can steer the conversation in a more positive direction. So anyway, what films are you looking forward to seeing in the not too distant future? You can talk about something which is more surface level and connect on that. So yeah, this is the way that I've learned to deal with negative people. So just summarizing, if you can get away from the toxic people and get around supporting and uplifting people, supportive and uplifting people that have your back, you're going to be a lot happier and you're going to feel a lot more confident. So 100% do this. If it's unavoidable that you're going to spend some time around negative people, try reducing the amount of time by having time boundaries. For example, if you visit somebody, you can plant a seed early on and refer to that seed later on. So you might say that I can only stay for a couple of hours because I've got an important phone call that I have to take this evening. Then after a couple of hours, you say, I will have to make tracks now. I've got that important phone call. So the time boundaries really help out. But when you just can't avoid being around a negative person, you're trapped with them, so to speak, one-to-one conversation with them, around them for a long period of time. That's when you do the coaching technique and you say, okay, the person is going to be negative. I'm trapped with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually help them out. I'm going to do the right thing from a coaching perspective, give them what they need emotionally, but not engage with the negativity myself. Yeah, and these things work really, really well. Tried and tested over and developed over a long period of time from personal challenges. Without revealing details about, all the people in my life. I struggled a lot with one of my parents who was super negative, and I had to learn ways to manage myself around this person to not get drained. As soon as I got my own place and wasn't living with my parents, I felt so much better. And then whenever I would go back and visit and stay for too long, I'd come away feeling drained. So I started developing time boundaries, which really, really helped. And then I realized that even spending 2, 3 hours, 4 hours could be quite draining. So I was trying to figure out what strategy I can do when I'm trapped with a negative person for several hours to avoid feeling drained afterwards. And I found that this is the best strategy. Of course, you can try and call it out and say that when you complain in this way, it does drag me down and makes me feel drained. So I'd appreciate it if in future we can just have friendly and positive conversations. You can do things like this, but it's hard to change people. And I would say that unless someone consents to change and they're committed to transforming as a person, it's almost impossible to change them. You know the phrase, a leopard doesn't change its spots. So somebody that is negative, they're probably going to remain negative. So even if you call it out, if they're a common fixture in your life, they may only change temporarily, then revert back to what they've always known. Therefore, it's really nice to have a strategy which keeps you in a good place. And this is the best one that I've found. Acting from a place of love, so you feel good in yourself. You feel that you're helping the person out as best as you can in that moment. And also, you're letting them run out of steam. So just ask yourself the question. So next time you're around a negative person, ask yourself the question, how can I give this person encouragement and hope right now? Just focus on doing that and notice how it helps you out so much. So I hope that you got value from this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit like. If you want to join future live streams and ask me questions and all the rest of it, you're very welcome to subscribe to my channel. And if you're interested in checking out one of my live events in Birmingham, coffee socials to help and support people in overcoming anxiety, especially social anxiety, building confidence, speaking to people, feeling good, boosting your mental health, making friends, all these good things. You're very welcome to drop me an email. And if you're interested in one-to-one coaching, just get in touch. And I look forward to meeting you. Until next time, have an awesome rest of your day.